So my name is Matthew Schaefer. I am the RD of Francis Hall here on campus. So why No Fear November? This concept is not new. Okay, this is not some fresh new idea. In fact, it's very, very old. Perhaps you heard about the time that your mother and father did something like this. Okay, I started talking to residents about this, and I thought, you know what? I want to change this for them. I want to give them this opportunity. And so I started talking to the guys. And I was like, I'm going to do a little testing of the waters here. And I decided, hey guys, what if you could ask a girl out to coffee, and it would just be coffee? That was it. Okay, there was no other obligations. You did not have to have the names of your first 3 children already. You did not have to know where you were going to hold the wedding reception or what color tuxes you wanted to do. You didn't need to know any of that yet. It could just be coffee. You could just get to know her. And guys were like, yes! That would be amazing! Like, no. So they get super excited, and then they'd rein it in. And they'd be like, but you don't know the women on this campus. I was new at the time. You don't understand. They take this thing way too seriously. All right? They think that you need to be ready to marry them, or at least think that you could marry them if you're going to ask them out. And I was like, geez. It scared me, being a single man new in this place. So I decided to go talk to the women. And so I started talking to girls in some of the halls and said, what if a guy could ask you out to, let's say, ice cream? And it was just ice cream. And it wasn't anything more than ice cream. Like, what would you think about that? Like, no obligation to relationships or anything like that. And they were like, yes! That would be amazing! But you don't know the guys on this campus. They take this dating thing way too seriously. See, they think they need to know whether or not they're ready to marry you before they ever ask you out. And then I got it. And I saw 2 separate realities in front of me. This was the reality of the men. This was the reality of the women. And in between those was tons and tons of fear. One of the RAs was telling me a little bit of the standoffish with some of the guys with this. They're like, who are these people to tell me that I need to ask a girl out? You don't have to ask a girl out. If you don't want to, don't. Okay? I'm not forcing anything. My thought with this went back to my rector from when I was in seminary. All right? He used to always talk about actively pursuing your vocation. All right? Not passively pursuing. This is intentional pursuit of your vocation. Most likely, the Lord will not just drop a man from the sky that is perfect for you, who immediately is ready to take you down the aisle. That more than likely isn't going to happen. So you must pursue your vocation. So, in thinking about that, it has to start with you. If this is going to change on this campus, if coffee is just going to be coffee, as Father Morrow put it a couple months ago here, then it starts with you. You asking women out. Okay? If everyone just continues to think about it as a hypothetical, as a theory, nothing will ever change, nothing will ever happen. So it starts with you and it starts with us. And so the biggest reason behind this is so that we have clear intentions. So we understand where both people are. Kyle, I believe, has dubbed it the hangout culture on campus, where, and I'll dive into that a little bit more later, but where men and women just hang out. Or maybe they're just talking for like a very long period of time. And they're not actually going out on dates. And so you have the woman who's sitting there being like, okay, so we're talking all the time. He likes to come over, and sometimes he's just very sweet to me, and I really like it. But he doesn't ever we don't ever go out. Like, so does he like me? Like, I would think that he likes me because he's always with me, and we spend a lot of time together and stuff, but we're just talking, we're just hanging out. So maybe, but then I remember I heard him say priesthood one time, and I don't know if that's something that he's thinking about right now. But you have the guy as well, who's like, well, she clearly knows that I'm into her. I asked her to watch a movie on Friday night the last 7 consecutive Fridays. Clearly, we're basically going out. And it's that basically that I want to get rid of. Okay? So this is No Fear November. So our proposal well, it's a little bit different for the guys, but our proposal to you, it's weird using that word, our proposal to you is to be not afraid. And if you want, I would encourage you to say yes if a guy decides to ask you out on a date. All right? Women are going to be encouraged to say yes. Please hear the words that are coming out of my mouth. They are encouraged to say yes. That does not mean they have to say yes. If they had to say yes, their yes would mean nothing. It's terribly frightening for a man to ask a girl out. I don't know if you realize that. I don't know if you get that. I have often said that I would be more likely to jump out of a plane at 10,000 feet than ask a girl out. I honestly have less fear about jumping out of a plane. I'm hurling towards the earth, towards my impending doom, that's fine. Okay? But to walk up, put myself out there completely, vulnerable to the world, and especially to this girl who I think is pretty amazing, it's very difficult. But if you say no, I would ask that you thank him for asking. Okay? Thank him for asking. There are a few different camps on this. Like, if you say no, you should tell him why. Frankly, I don't think you have to. I think that's up to you. If you have very good, solid reasons for saying no, this is what I told the guys last night, okay, just so you're privy. I said if she says no, that is completely her business. She owes you nothing. She owes you no explanation. And I firmly believe that. That is completely up to you. But do thank him for putting himself out there, because it was probably pretty hard. So real quick, reasons for saying no. All right? There may be other ones outside of this. Feel free to talk to a woman about this. Probably not me. So, reasons for no. You're already in a committed relationship. Pretty solid. You're on a dating fast. That would probably be a good reason. If you're in that level of discernment where you feel like, yes, I know that I'm called to a religious order, and in fact, I may even know what religious order, that would probably be a good reason for no. You know? The dude's just super creepy might be another good reason for saying no. Now, I say that and we all kind of giggle and it's funny and whatever, but I want you to think about what that means. Okay? What that doesn't mean is that I'm just not attracted to him. Okay? Being creepy is not the equivalent of being attracted to someone. So real quick, that was a question from last night. I'll quick address it. Should I say yes if I'm attracted, or if I'm not attracted to him? I would say yes. If any of you know the RD of the Heights, Kyle Murphy, he talked about this last night. When his wife said yes to him on their first date, she was not attracted to him. They are now married. So that worked out pretty well. So feel free to give that a shot, okay? You should at least get to know the whole person. Also, if you base it completely on attraction, that is a form of objectification. To look at them solely upon that and just go, nope, no thanks. All right, so please do think about that. So what does it mean then to be creepy? Well, first off, there are guys, I'm sure, who give you like a very unsettling feeling. If you're not going to feel safe on a date, don't go on it. Okay? I'm actually not joking about that at all. Don't go on it if you're not going to feel safe. Maybe that person just kind of hangs out around you a lot, but it's not usually here, it's like here. Okay? It's okay to say no. All right? I'm going to ask that you don't say, no, super creepy, and then walk away. Don't do that. Okay, that's not super charitable, so maybe we won't do that. Other reasons to say no. You're scared. All right? And don't pretend you don't get scared. I refuse to believe that men are the only ones who are scared in this thing. Okay? So it's a difficult thing, so overcome that, all right? I told the guys last night, there is no fear in love. And we love the Lord, we want to do His will, so let's give this a shot. All right? And see what His will has for us. Being too busy. All right? No, you're not. Okay? You think you are, but you're not. All right, you have time. At some point, you have to eat food. Okay, you need the sustenance so you can continue doing work. Perhaps you can be like, hey, I have to eat food if you'd really like to. I have this lunch at this time. If you would like to take me to lunch, we could do that. Or maybe you really haven't been sleeping at all because you have so much to do, so you need coffee every afternoon. Perhaps you can give him 30 minutes at coffee. All right, and just tell him that. I can give you 30 minutes and coffee. Awesome, let's do it. I would gladly accept that challenge and go, all right, I'm going to get 45 minutes next time because you want 45 minutes next time. All right? It's fun, it's good. This is one of the best answers, and I actually heard this from the Potcheks who gave a talk earlier this semester. Well, I don't want to lead him on, okay? And this Potchek said, lead him on to what? All right, like, what do you think you're leading him on to? Okay? These dates are about getting to know someone. All right? You are not entering into a relationship. You are not leading him on to anything. All right? You ask me, that's an excuse because you're scared. Stop it. All right? Don't do that. So you're not leading him on. Don't worry about it. And the last thing that I'll mention, a bad reason to say no to someone is preconceived notions of who they are. Perhaps you've seen his household around, and you see the way those guys act, and you would never date one of those guys. So why would you say yes to even a casual date with them? All right, so what is this all about? It's about relationships. Now, when I say that word, I think a lot of you probably think the same thing that I would initially, which is, oh yes, being in a relationship. Holding hands and walking. I see these couples around. Oh, no. When I'm talking about relationships here, I'm talking about the whole gamut of relationships, not specifically just romantic relationships. So also friendships. I am hoping and praying that more of a casual dating culture on campus will lead to many more authentic male-female friendships, which could also strengthen this campus a lot and hopefully bring more good things out in men. They act differently when you're around, in case you didn't know. All right? So that is kind of the goal of this, to have those better friendships. So I'll close with this. No fear, no regrets. I don't know what it's like for a woman. I'm not going to pretend to. But for a guy, I've had those girls that I've thought, what if I would have asked her out? What if I would have just taken her out to coffee one time and seen what happened? I can think of 3 off the top of my head who are now married with children from college that I never asked out. So for you, what if I would have just said yes to him? What if I would have went and got ice cream that one time? What would have happened? Don't allow yourself to wonder those things. Don't allow yourself to be taken over by those thoughts. No fear, no regrets.